During medieval period, towns grew up in various parts of the country. These towns grew into administrative, trade, and cultural centers. Flourishing trade and commerce led to the general prosperity of the people. Let us get familiar with the relationship among towns, traders, and craftspersons.
Administrative towns. Thanjavur was the capital and an administrative town during the Chola rule. The town was situated near the river Kaveri. King Rajaraja Chola built Rajarajeshwara temple in this town. Town people praised the temple for its architect. Kunjar Malan Rajaraja Perunthajan. He carved his name on the temple wall. Temple is having a massive Shivalinga. Salias is a class of weavers of Thanjavur and Urayu. They produced cloth for flags to be used in temple festivals. Clothes of fine cottons were for the king and the nobility. Clothes of coarse cotton were meant for the masses.
Here, in this picture, you can see sthapatis or sculptors making exquisite bronze idols and tall ornamental bell metal lamps. The markets in the town sold the following items: jewelry, spices, grains, and cloth.
Pilgrimage centers. Thanjavur Temple. There were palaces with mandapas or pavilions. Kings used to hold court in these mandapas and issue orders to their subordinates. Temples also had barracks for the army. Thanjavur Temple Town. An example of a temple town. Temple towns had a specific pattern, like pattern of urbanization, process by which cities develop. Temples were the center of economy and society in that town. Metal crafts under Cholas. Let us see how the metal work was done during Chola period. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. Bell metal contained a greater proportion of tin than bronze. New metal produces a bell-like sound. Chola bronze statues were made by the lost wax technique. Which of the options given below is correct? Question. The object made during Chola period by using lost wax technique was? Your options are A. Temple buildings, B. Bell, C. Ships, and D. Cloth. Trade and towns. Network of small towns. 18th century subcontinent witnessed the emergence of several small towns from large villages. The towns had a mandapika or mandi. Villages brought their produce to sell in the mandi. Towns had market streets called haat with shops.
The streets of the towns were inhabited by the following artisans: potters, oil pressers, sugar makers, toddy makers, smiths, and stone masons. The goods sold in the town markets were horses, salt, saffron, betel nut, pepper, and camphor.
Samantas. Samantas or zamindars built a fortified palace in and around these towns. Traders, artisans paid taxes to them on trade articles. Temples also had the right to collect taxes. Temples were built by traders and rich merchants. Inscriptions also had the details of these rights. Traders, and guilds. Banjaras were also the part of trading communities. Horse traders had formed associations with headmen. Headmen had the right to negotiate on their behalf with the warriors who bought horses. Traders traveled through many kingdoms and forests. They used to travel in caravans. They formed guilds to protect their interests. During 18th century and after, there were several guilds in South India. Two famous guilds of South India were the Mani Gramam and Nana Desi. Guilds traded both within the peninsula and with Southeast Asia and China. Chetiyars and Marwari Oswal were principal trading groups. Hindu Baniyas and Muslim Bohras traded with the ports of the Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia and China. They exchanged textile and spices with gold and ivory. Spices, tin, Chinese blue pottery and silver were imported from Southeast Asia and China. Foreign trading groups. Arabs, Persian, Chinese, Jewish, and Syrian Christian traders came to towns on the west coast for trade. Italian traders bought Indian spices and cloth, sold in the Red Sea ports, to trade them at high profits in European markets. Popular Indian spices. Now let us explore the popular Indian spices for trading. Pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, dried ginger. These were grown in the tropical climates. These became important part of European cooking. Indian cotton clothes were in great demand in European markets. These craftspersons of Bedam were very popular for inlay work in copper and silver. This work is known as Bidri.
Panchalas, or Vishwakarma community, consisted of goldsmiths, bronzesmiths, blacksmiths, masons, and carpenters. They constructed palaces, big buildings, tanks, and reservoirs. Saliyar, or Kaikolars, weavers became prosperous communities. They made donations to temples. Cloth making, like cotton cleaning, spinning, and dyeing became specialized and independent crafts.
Hampi. Hampi was founded in 1336. It is located in Krishna Tungabhadra basin. It was the center of the Vijayanagara Empire. Let us see an animation Hampi dealing with the layout and importance of Hampi, the capital city of Vijayanagara Empire. Surat. Surat is an important trading center on the western coast of India. It has been a hub of the textile industry since the medieval period. Many wars and battles were fought to control this port city. The following animation Surat deals with the rise and fall of the Surat as a trading city. Which of the options given below is correct? Question. Surat city is famous for, your options are A. Textile, B. Artwork, C. Spices, and D. Metalwork. Masulipatnam. We will now understand how the Masulipatnam name came to existence and what was its importance during different periods. The literal meaning of Masulipatnam or Machilipatnam is fish port town. It is located on the delta of the Krishna River. City witnessed intense trade activities during the 17th century. The Dutch and the English East India companies tried to dominate Masulipatnam due to its importance on the Andhra coast. Dutch also built a fort at Masulipatnam.